Welcome back, artists. In my previous video, I drew this owl. I'm going to put a link to it at the end of this video so you can go back and watch how I sketched it out and drew it. But now on this video, I'm going to use my watercolor paints and color them in. I'm going to start first with my watercolor graphite. I often use this to help establish my values. Values of the relative light and dark of a painting. And I find this very helpful as an intermediate, as a starting step to getting my lights and darks done properly. I like painting in a relatively loose style, so if I'm not 100% accurate or 100% perfect, I'm usually not too bothered by that. The main thing is get it close and call it good. Let the human eye complete the image. But nonetheless, I do want to retain a certain degree of accuracy to make it believable. A great horned owl, which is what this image is, has these molted, marbled look to his feathers. Just try to capture the essence of these feathers here so that it reads right to the human eye. This is going to be a moon right here, and that's going to be my source of light. So given that, and given this dead tree, this old snag that I want my owl sitting on, my core shadow will be right here in the middle of the tree. So I'm going to darken this area the most. Now, in point of reference, when I do a drawing like this and I have overlapping areas, like the tail is and the branch here, a lot of times I don't worry about it. I paint right through it and let the paint cover the area. I paint through objects to make sure I get the proportions correct and objects connected properly. Part of what I love so much about working with watercolor graphite is you can get these beautiful graduated grayscale colors here. Quite dark to very, very light and virtually everything in between. Now, whenever you're doing a specific geometric shape, like this round moon, I average it in and let the human eye find the correct shape. That's part of the joys and liberation of working loosely, is that you can do this. And it makes it fun. So I don't worry about if I have the perfect shape. Now I could put some trees over here. All right, there we go. There's the watercolor graphite underpainting. I'm going to call that done. So let's dive into our watercolors now. And doing traditional watercolor, we start from light to dark. And this is a moon, so I'm going to make it look whitish. But it has to be three-dimensional, so I'm going to make it use some light cerulean blue here. Add a little cobalt blue. To make it look three-dimensional. Even a little slosh of Prussian blue as well. Now, I'm going to lose my outside edges here. This is cobalt blue in the sky here. I'm just sort of blocking it in. Now some Prussian blue down in the bottom. This is a dark, rich blue. As I envision this being just a dark forest at this late hour in my painting, where it would be very little light down among the trees of the forest. I'll add a little phthalo blue into the mix too. This is a very dark staining blue. Primary thing I'm trying to achieve is just darkness at the bottom of my forest here. I'm actually going to add some alizarin crimson, put in some red, help pull this towards purple a little bit. Now if I get my timing right, I should be able to scrape through here. I need it to be about half wet, half dry. Then I can scrape in a few more trees. Okay, so there's my basic sky. I might come back and tweak a little bit towards the end, but let's do the bird. Bright yellow, this is hands of yellow around his eyes here. Not a little raw sienna. He has this white ruffled area around his neck and right around his mouth there. Now I'm just going to alternate between raw sienna and this quinacridone burnt orange, which is just a beautiful color. And a little cobalt blue on the shadow side of his body here. When you're painting loosely like I am, you're sort of controlling a sloppy mess. Kind of get it close and call it good, but that's what makes it fun. You figure out you have more control than you think you do. But you do have to be tolerant of a little bit of messiness during the process. All right, let's try our tree. Stick some cobalt blue here on the shadow side of my tree. Darken up my moon a little bit and touch up the sky a little bit. I think it could use a little bit of refinement. Actually, what I'm doing is just trying to, when I say refinement, I mean trying to just play with my values, getting enough of my value shift so that you can see the one image separate from another. All right, there we go. There's my great horned owl. I'm going to let that dry, and we'll post it online with our art group friends. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.